Oh, I think we're live. Good morning. My internet is not doing well today, but just the same, good morning and welcome to another chat session coming to you live from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. Okay, so much is happening. I don't like politics, but it's kind of shoved in our faces lately. We're waiting to hear whether that um, court case in Georgia is going to go forward, or whether the will be removed. That poor judge is stuck between a rock and a hard place. No matter how he rules, somebody's going to be very angry. If he removes the DA from the case, what the heck? There's uh, oh, okay. The, let's see, the shiny thing showing on my wall really is there, but it isn't orange. It's just a reflection of sunlight. Tora, Tora says hi to her adoring fans. Hello there. Yes, that's a Tora. She's a kitty. Now get off of my desk. I can't get the treats because the desk is in the way. Come on, back off. Back off. Okay, so if he removes her, half the country will be angry. If he doesn't, the other half of the country will be angry. All right, Tora and Patches and Tutu and 3C. All right, hang on, guys. I've only got 6 paws. Yes. I'm going to put it there. Here. I can't. They don't understand that I can't put treats down in midair. They won't stay. Um, he already quashed, which is what some states call dismissed, 6 of the charges in the Georgia case for being too vague. Hello there, Etsy Quintia. In the chat. I love my chat room. You guys make this show. Without you, it'd be a bunch of boring chatter with me just, I don't know, saying nothing at all. Anyway, apparently the 6 of the charges in that humongous case were too vague. The defense has to be able to defend, and if it's too vague, they can't know what they're defending against. So those charges could be refiled with more specific info. Well, let's see, Quentia, working on a project is more important than coming to my little podcast or live stream or whatever you want to call it. I'm glad you had work to do. Ah, cigarette keeps going out. Anyway, I'm still looking for a home insurance policy. I have to keep this house. It's worth maybe $100,000, but it's mortgaged to the hilt. If I sold it, I might get $5,000. And that would not last 6 months. Then I'd be on the street. On top of that, if I had $5,000 in the bank, I would lose my Medicaid for, health insurance, and I would lose food stamps, and the money would go really fast, maybe in 3 or 4 months. And then I'd have to reapply for all that help and wait, probably on the street, because it's $1,200 a month to rent. I'm basically stuck. And I like this house. It isn't that I don't want to live here, but I am kind of trapped. Some repairs that I can't afford. And if I got the money needed to repair the house, I'd lose all my government aid. And I hate being on government aid, but I need it. Yeah, there's fog all over these mountains, which is why I can't be sure that the internet connection is stable. Oh, my phone is interrupting me. Come here, you. Do not disturb. I have to send one message real quick, because this morning I have a ride to the grocery store. Hi, Ditch. Hello there. So, anyway, the court case in Georgia is up in the air. And I don't know. It seems to me that if you're hiding your income from your wife during a divorce hearing and you're a lawyer, you've got problems. And if you're sleeping with people who work for you, you've got problems. Okay, one more message. Uh, because this is the lady who uh, takes me to the grocery store. Oh, come on. Stupid, that thing where it tries to guess what word you're typing and it puts it in there and it's the wrong word. Uh, anyway, I go to the grocery store, the big one, once a month. And if I need other stuff, I go to the local mini mart, which is walking distance on a good day. Some days there's no way I could walk. It's maybe 100 yards away. It's around the corner and then around the next corner. I'm near I'm not on the corner, I'm near it though. You think I'm better than radio? Sitting here just noodling, or yes, Tora, you're cute. But I gave you treats. I haven't opened a can because you guys don't deserve it. Okay, get off my desk. Hi, Patches. I better open a can for them. Yeah, autocomplete can be annoying, but it can save time if it is working right. The thing is, on my phone, it's so hard to push the right button. I don't know how teenagers do it with their thumbs. I use my little pinky sometimes because my index finger touches the wrong button. Let's get a can for these monsters. Hi, sweetie. Sweetie's here. Yeah, she's a hungry kitty cat. All right, canned food for the monsters. Get me through. Kitties and cats. I'm surrounded. Hi, Smokey. Hi, Tora. Yeah, just let me through. Cats think that they're out of your way when they get right for us, but the insurance company insists that there are too many trees here. Thing is, the cost of removing trees is like 10 years worth of fire insurance. Forget it. Each to remove trees. They're big trees. No, I don't need a better keyboard app for my phone. I need a bigger phone. This one's a little bigger than most. See? From my chin to the top of my head. But I want a bigger phone. Bigger. I think some companies make bigger phones for old people like me, but I haven't found one. You see, the only way I can buy a new phone is to go ahead and uh, on the Verizon website where they let me make monthly payments with enough money to get a loan. I do have a loan from my credit union. It was a COVID thing. They gave everybody disaster loans. So now I'm paying on that every month. I really wonder, though, what's going to happen in Georgia. That's a state case, not a federal case, and it's a RICO case, organized crime. It's what they get the mafia on or try to. Ditch says, quote, if you sleep with people you work with, you have problems, end quote. And then he adds, not if you're a porn star. Ah, stream died. Looks good on my end. Well, I'll just keep talking because my computer says I'm on and it's working. Oh, good, Ditch. I'm glad it wasn't my end this time, but I'm waiting for it to go down because it's foggy. Okay. Tora, please get off my case. You're gonna get fat and diabetic eating all those treats. I don't need a diabetic cat. It's too hard to give you medicine. Okay. The morning ritual. Fat, fat, the water cat. It's really water rat, but she's a cat. Here you go, Patches. The others are busy with the canned food and kibble. Oh. And in New York, a bunch of firefighters booed their DA, and some fire official told them they'd better turn themselves in so they don't have to hunt them down. For what? Booing someone at an event? Uh, no, I wouldn't like to be booed, but there's this thing called speech. Speech is not how, if you slander someone or defame them, yeah, it can cost you, but you're still allowed to say it. It isn't a crime. It's a tort, a civil matter. Sheesh. Oh, yeah, they want to be re educated. They want to send them to classes sensitivity. Yeah, re education camps. There's I can't remember his name off the top of my head. A PhD psychologist and professor in Canada who's been ordered to go through re education because he's uh, criticizing the government. Canada, where if you engage in a peaceful protest, they confiscate your bank account. I wonder what's going on with truckers in New York City. Supplies are being trucked in, but many truckers won't go there, and it is not just to protest. It's also because there's so much crime in New York. Criminal gangs will open up the back of the truck and steal whatever's in it. Sometimes they steal the truck. Oh, I forgot about the Romulans. There's a Star Trek conversation in chat. Ditch used logic, and Etsequentia said Mr. Spock would be proud, and Ditch said, not if he knew I was a Romulan sympathizer. Yeah, our government here, Republicrats and Demoblicans, they're kind of like the um, the Romulans and the Klingons fighting over who gets to rule. Oh, Ditch is trying to get a driving license this year. I think you mean for a big rig, commercial driver's license. Yeah. And the tolls on the roads in New York are ridiculous. It's a bunch of islands and bridges and stuff. Um, and every bridge is a toll road. Now they do pass on the cost of the tolls to the consumer in New York. Apparently, there's a shakeup in D.C. Uh, some senators and representatives got primaried, which means they don't get to run for re-election. Which one is it who's had several strokes while speaking at a press conference? He fell down the stairs a while ago. Is that Mitch McConnell or the other guy? And I remember even 20 years ago, Rush Limbaugh was calling Chuck Schumer, Chuck you, Schumer. And he's still alive and still the Democrat leader in the Senate. We're being ruled by old white men. And when a woman speaks up, oh, she's defensive. She's causing unnecessary conflict. We need more people to speak up, speak loud, and cause a little chaos to shake up the complacent bureaucrats. I still have concerns about Trump at my border in Texas and seeing the bedlam. They clean up a relatively quiet port of entry for our president to visit. Oh, everything's fine. Yeah, well, apparently the migrants are avoiding the ports of entry and just crossing the river and crossing the desert and going through private land, looking for things to steal and food to eat, cutting down fences so that livestock escapes. Um, Darn thing went out again. I mean, they're letting people in anyway. Why not go to the port of entry where it's more orderly and they have the facilities? First of all, to check and make sure you are not. Second, to give you a place to sit down and have a meal and maybe sleep before you move on. But see, when you have hordes crossing at a place that is not a port of entry, it's easier for bad guys to sneak through while the Border Patrol is busy with the crowd. So they can bring in drugs and God knows what else. Now, I sympathize with individual people that I encounter who didn't come here legally. Our legal system of immigration is broken, but we have somewhere between 10 million and 20 million people here, and we don't know who they are. I hope this YouTube doesn't think this is a bad thing to talk about. But I'm shocked at what Nancy Pelosi said. We need them to pick our fruit. Cesar Chavez, who organized the Farm Workers Union in California, was totally against allowing uh, illegal immigration because these migrants had no power. They would accept poor wages and poor working conditions, and that lowered the um, wages and working conditions for people who were already working on the farms. And we do, or did, last time I checked, we still had it, a program to allow seasonal workers to come here and work and then go home. And I've known some of them who actually were able to send money home. So when they went home, they had a higher standard of living than before. Good, hardworking people. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Things cost a lot less in Mexico and South America. But I don't know how long that'll last because the American dollar is losing so much value. The British pound has already tanked. I remember when a British pound was $5. Now it's barely more than $1. And Canadian money is getting more valuable, or it has been. I'm not sure what it's doing now. But when I was a kid in the 60s, Canadian money was pretty much worthless. If people had Canadian coins, they'd give them to children to play with. Well, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories that are promoted by the powers that be. And I'm tired of the follow the science line, but it usually comes from people who are not following the science. It's easier today than before with the internet to actually at least get a peek at actual science journals and get real information. I'm tired of all these ads for lose weight. Lose weight fast and easy. You don't have to diet or exercise. Well, that's snake oil. All these people selling various health things that are actually bad for your health. I try to follow the science, but I do know people who have lost weight by simply cutting out bread from their diet. They'll have, instead of a sandwich, they'll have a lettuce wrap, stuff like that. But they do also remain active even if they don't go to the gym and work out. I can't do the stuff you do in a gym. I had to give up the, what do you call it? I'm blanking again. Physical therapy. It was making me worse. Oh, you love the color combination? It's actually yellow, but they call it gold. Looks kind of greenish on my monitor. Oh, I have a swag code alert. I can get a swag buck, which is worth about a penny. Oh, they want me to play Domino Dreams. No, thank you, but I can still get. Oh, come on. There, here. 2 swag bucks, 2/10 of a penny. Just put it in the magical swag code box and redeem it. There, and I can get another swag buck by um, answering a one survey question, which is the daily poll. Do I use Xfinity for any of the following? I don't know what Xfinity is. I don't even know. Oh, by the way, by closing the tab with my email, I've gotten a little better connection for YouTube. Oh, Ditch made a joke. Well, anyway, yeah, the so-called border bill, which provided $80 billion for Ukraine, didn't make it. So I guess it's the Republicans' fault. Um, we're selling weapons to Israel while telling them not to use weapons. Uh, Nikki Haley just couldn't get popular because she's a Romney. I think she's Romney's niece, and nobody likes Romney. And besides, she's highly invested in military weapons. What, Tora? Now you're sitting on me with the pokey paws? Say hello to your adoring fans. Oh, you're fat. You're a big fat cat. Most cats don't like tummy rubs, but Tora seems to like them. Just don't overdo it. Yeah, now get off of me. You're too big and heavy with your pokey paws. Oh, Patches is doing a little better, but last week I let her out for one day because it was nice and sunny and warm, and she overdid it, and now she's just too gimpy again. At Sequentia recommends we read the short story Build Up by J.G. Ballard. He says, it gave me claustrophobia, depression, anxiety, and existential crisis. I loved it. Highly recommended. A must read. And it's about a reality where the entire universe is one gigantic, unending city you cannot escape from. Really makes you think. The psychology of the people in that universe is fascinating. What? Stop. Tora, quit. Quit. You heard me. Stay off my desk. Bad cat. Hey, don't play with my stuff. Treats are almost gone. And it's your fault, Tora. The bag's almost empty. Even Patches says I've had enough treats. I don't want any more. I don't remember which one of Phil's stories it was, but these people were trapped in a town where they couldn't escape. And it turned out to be a miniature mock-up on a tabletop. Yeah, big cities are really bad for your health. Some people seem to thrive there, but they're kind of wealthy and entitled. If you're regular person, working class, even upper middle class, it's just not good for you. Ditch says Baltimore feels like a jail, but he's planning his escape. There was a Twilight Zone episode at Sequentia, which was similar to Phil's stories. I'm just but anyway, you might have noticed that during all our lockdowns, uh, working class people and small businesses were crushed, but the wealthy, entitled ghouls, Tora, quit it. Well, I don't need to open it up after 4 different cats nibbled on a bite of it. You guys aren't hungry, you're just entitled. Cats are all entitled. And I guess they're wealthy because they own everything. Do you know that Watts, that mostly black community in Los Angeles County, Watts, used to be a thriving middle class community of mostly black people till they decided to get rid of the trains that took people to and from work and put in buses that didn't their schedules did not allow the working class blacks to get to and from work. They couldn't get there on time and they couldn't leave on time. And the buses took a lot longer en route to get to and from places. And they were stinky, diesel powered. This was before smog control on vehicles. They were stinky. They contributed to the smog in Los Angeles, which, by the way, blows over here into the Inland Empire, especially in Riverside. Oh, wow. It isn't necessarily the government, but it is wealthy, entitled people who screw things up for the rest of us. And that's one reason why I'm learning to cook. Processed food is so bad for us. I rode on one of the last red cars, a train from Los Angeles to Long Beach when I think I was 6 years old. So that would put it in 1960. It was marvelous to ride on the train. Buses are like, ew, I gotta ride on the bus again. Ew. Oh well. Anyway, um, now they want us to either drive electric cars or not have cars at all. And in some places, that isn't as big a deal as California, where we're spread out and people commute as much as 70 miles to work. And the solution the powers that be offer us is move into the big city, then you won't have to commute. Well, there was this movie a long time ago called Escape from New York. There was another one, I'm not sure of the exact title, but it was something like Escaping from Los Angeles. Uh, Packing us into big cities, it might as well be packing us into prison. Oh, Ditch and his crew watched Escape from New York in Discord. Oh, Escape from LA was the sequel? Not as good, he says. Okay. I haven't seen either one, just the ads, the trailers and the commercials. But really, um, if you like living in a big city and you don't feel trapped, more power to you. I just couldn't stand. I mean, I used to visit occasionally Los Angeles, and that was good. I got to ride on one of those petty cabs. I wasn't going anywhere, just killing time before the movie started. And then we went into the me and my son, we went into the United Artists Theater and watched a movie. It was that, I forgot the title again, where a Homo sapiens is adopted by a tribe of Neanderthals. Um, so there's this blonde woman who's the Homo sapiens, and she gets pregnant because Neanderthals are human. Clan of the Cave Bear. They actually want to have a female Wolverine from an alternate universe attack the Hugh Jackman Wolverine and defeat him. Uh, why? We love Wolverine. We want him to win. That's my problem with the American literary movement called naturalism. It was supposed to be, just like reality, like Jack London's story, To Light a Fire. A guy makes a bad decision up in the frozen north where they're, looking for gold, and he goes off by himself instead of staying with the group. And a blizzard hits, and he can't light a fire to keep him warm, so he ends up freezing to death. I don't like that ending. We wanted him to win. There's a female Deadpool, Ditch says. Oh no. Well, as long as she doesn't attack the original and defeat. We've always had strong women in the river in Africa in a boat. Or True Grit. She's a teenage guy who killed her father. And yeah, there's John Wayne is in it, but she's the major character. Kill all the alternate dimension versions of himself. I suppose Gone with the Wind is politically incorrect these days, but the star was, of course, oh, come on. I forgot her name. I can't even remember the character's name. Well, anyway, it's the woman who is like the last heir to the plantation, but the Civil War has come and gone, and, everything's falling apart. Scarlett O'Hara. Women have always had strong roles. And then there's the movies like Steel Magnolias. A group of women who are strong. And they didn't have to get strong by killing men. Oh, hi, Peanut Butter Falcon. Haven't seen you before. Welcome in. Let's see. Put the cursor in the chat. That always helps. Yeah. What? Yeah, you're cute. Oh, what's that movie where an elderly widow falls in love with an astronaut, the astronaut next door? What? The retired astronaut. Patches, say hello. Yeah, well, you're an asshole. Sorry for the bad word, but she is. Uh huh. Oh, kitty. Yeah. Well, get off my lap. They don't sit in my lap. They prance around on my lap and pokey paws me. Do you really want more treats? Okay. Hang on. I've only got 6 paws. One of the worst things about pawing out treats is that I put them in the wrong place. She wants them over here, not over there. See? She walked across my lap to the other chair, leaving behind the treats that were in the wrong place. Ugh. I know you didn't see that. She was off camera. Oh, the African queen was that. Oh, man. Google signed me out in mid sentence. Yeah, the African queen, Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn on this beat up old boat on a river in Africa. I think it was Africa. Yeah, it had to be. It's the African queen. Basically, strong woman character, and it was not considered a message movie. It was just a great movie. Sheesh. Anyway, sheesh. I don't know why Google signed me out, but I had. Yeah, Humphrey's always drinking gin. And there's, I think it's that movie. There's a scene where he gets leeches all over his back and she rubs salt on them. Apparently, salt makes them let go and die. I wonder if they did that scene with real leeches. Oh well, anyway. Ditch assumes that drinkers are psychopaths until proven otherwise. I've never had, maybe at the local bar and grill, I'll get them to make me some kind of drink that has gin. Now, Mom always told me that a martini was gin and vermouth, but all the recipes for martinis that I've seen have vodka. I think vodka and gin. And they say that gin and vermouth is a Gibson. Gin and grapefruit juice is good, the peanut butter falcon says. Ditch makes his martinis with vodka and vermouth. Okay, I've never had vermouth either. Maybe I'll ask for a Gibson. Gin and vermouth. I don't know. I'm just not into alcohol, but I'm curious. And Phil used to serve up this single malt Scotch whiskey that he got at Trader Joe's. Apparently, you can't get it anymore. It was like he bought the whole case because it was the last batch from a distillery that was either going out of business or discontinuing that uh, liquor. And it was like all you had to do was breathe. You put it up to your face and sniff it as if it were brandy. It was so light and it had the hint of peat. The really good whiskeys are filtered through peat moss. It was almost perfume, but it tasted good. Well, Phil usually drank Jack Daniels, which I consider rot gut. Yuck, don't want it. But yeah, he did like that scotch. He also liked red wine, well, any kind of wine. Cabernet Sauvignon, I don't care for it. I like Pinot Noir. And the white wines, one was cow milk, beloved mother's milk, and what was the other one? I think it's Gewürztraminer, both German names. A lot of people thought Phil was German, but he was actually Scottish. The Falcon thinks that Jack Daniels is a decent whiskey. Yeah, it's bourbon. I like Canadian whiskey. I have a bottle of Seagram's um, VO, the most expensive version. They have regular, they have Seagram's 7, and then Seagram's VO, very old. I have a bottle of that I bought 24 years ago, and I've never opened it. But it's smooth and doesn't have a powerful flavor, but if you drink it enough of it, and VO you can drink straight, but I like it with 7 Up or Sprite. But in 24 years, I haven't felt the need to open the bottle. Maybe I should. I do have a tiny, like half pint bottle of rum, but I only use it to soak raisins. Rum raisins are delicious, and you can put them in cakes and cookies. Well, Ditch, I've been saving it for a special occasion for 24 years. The Falcon likes Merlot. Is it? Oh, he says Merlot is a bitter wine. I've never tried Merlot, so I can't tell you. But Ditch says it's dry, not bitter. Mom drank straight alcohol to it to increase the alcohol content of a poor wine that really isn't suitable for fine dining. Gallo once, and it was a cheap substitute. I like sherry. It really does kind of taste like almonds. Falcon doesn't know much about wine, but he likes sangria when it has fruit in it with ice. Yeah, a punch with wine and fruit is I've rarely had it, just at family gatherings, but it's nice. I did buy a bottle of Pinot Grigio, the white form of Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a deep red. The Pinot Grigio, I use it for cooking. I've had it pounded into me on all kinds of cooking shows. If you wouldn't drink the wine, don't cook with it. It isn't going to get any better just because you cooked it. But the $6 bottle of wine from a California winery, yeah, they're not bad. I think wine, red wine in particular, is improved when you put it in a bowl of fruit and get it icy cold. I I'll have wine with dinner if I'm not driving. But I don't particularly care for just drinking, go to a bar and drink or sit at home and drink. It's not my thing. Oh, wow. I was planning, and I forgot again to take out do a little demonstration. I need to start two other channels. One would be learning is easy and fun, and the other would be something about being cooking challenged. Yeah, drinking is expensive. But rather than buy bottles of gin and vermouth, I'll probably go to the bar and grill and ask for a Gibson just so I can say I've tried it. Plus, they have great food, awesome food. Ditch gave up drinking so he can save up and escape the city. Yeah, it's easier to move if you're renting. I kind of own this house, although the bank owns most of it. And the housing market, of course, prices were skyrocketing. Plus, my house needs you know, it's not in my budget. I'm going to do what I can do myself without hiring anyone, but I still have to have the tools and supplies to do it. And I'm waiting for the weather to get better. Last year, it kept raining all summer long, and then winter descended in October instead of December, the winter weather. So I can't really paint anything outside when the when it's wet outside. The paint won't dry properly, and rain will wash it off if it isn't completely dry. It'll make all kinds of streaks too. And I need to do some caulking before I paint. You wait for the caulking to dry so you can sand it smooth. Pain. I would enjoy doing it. Oops, hiccups. I would enjoy doing all that if the weather would cooperate. Meanwhile, I'm packing up more books to send off to get sold through either eBay or Facebook. Well, the point of the paint is not just to look nice, but to protect the wood underneath. All my siding is wood. I have to get into my shed and find the box of books that will sell for the most money. I packed them up special and put them in the shed. I have to get them out and sell them. I have to downsize. I have so much stuff. And I need the money to fix the house and like that. I have to keep an eye on the phone to find out when my ride wants to come. Yeah. Okay. Ah. I don't know. Ah. Dropped a cigarette. Straight into the cat hair. More cat hair on my floor. More work for me. Sweeping up cat hair. I don't know. I once had a neighbor who complained about the color I painted my fence. On one side, the fence was wood, on the other side, it was chain link. And I decided to paint the wooden fence lemon yellow, and they thought it was ugly. Sorry, I like it. But then I decided to alternate one panel in the yellow and the second one in green, and then yellow, and then green again. Oh, Falcon's been listening to the Transmigration of Timothy Archer. Yeah, I've just started reading it. Well, like 40 years ago, I read it, but I had forgotten. So I'm reading it again. It's a good book, but it is not part of Valis. It's sort of like the Valis trilogy. It's sort of like a fourth book. The third book should be Radio Free Albemuth. Radio Free Albemuth was the original Valis that Phil wrote first. And both his agent and the editor at Doubleday said that they couldn't sell it. They rejected it. And he hadn't had anything rejected in decades. What I really like about Radio Free Albemuth is that it's so realistic. It's so much like what really happens in some countries. And he was afraid of it happening here. The transmigration is really, a, as I said, a fourth book to the trilogy. Oh, wow. I have to go through another stack of books, and I'm supposed to pack up, I'm supposed to tape up the book and mail it, the box of books, and mail it today. I'm kind of blanking. I think it's in Dallas that there's a radio DJ, a radio talk show guy. Um, Phil modeled him on a real. I think he modeled him on uh, Mike something on KPFK. Mike Hodell. But really, the character is more like Art Bell used to be. I miss Art Bell. I would stay up till midnight and past midnight to listen to Art Bell. Coast to Coast is just not what Art Bell was about. It just either annoys me or bores me. And Art Bell did quite a few shows about reverse speech, where you tape someone who's talking and then play it backward, kind of like that Beatles album where supposedly it said, if you played it backwards, it said Paul is dead. Talk about conspiracy theories. There's still some people who believe that Paul McCartney died and they replaced him with a double. Who knows? I was never that much into the Beatles, even though I like some of their songs. That's interesting, Ditch. If you get someone to talk backwards and play it forward, it's a good sound effect for a ghost movie. Huh. I don't know how one would talk backwards. That'd take a lot of skill and practice. Wow. Oh, thanks, Falcon. Some people said the original Paul left the band and they replaced him with Billy Shears. I, I thought Billy Shears died. Hmm. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I don't really like the song, but okay. And the next year, they all grew mustaches and stopped touring in the U.S. Oh, David Lynch in Twin Peaks had the little person talking backward. That must have been hard to do. Well, I don't know. I'm ready to tape up the boxes and. Oh, yeah, the Yellow Submarine movie. I saw it only because a friend insisted that we go see it. I do like the scenes where I think it's Paul. One of them says, I've got a hole in my pocket. That was clever. And they're stuck inside this dome that they can't escape from. And Paul says, oh, I've got a hole in my pocket. And he puts the hole on the dome so they can get out. Oh, I never have been into getting stoned. And especially these days, I would never buy drugs off the street. Level puller? Oh, Liverpudlian. Liver puddler. Liverpooler? Okay. Yeah, fentanyl. Well, it hasn't been all that safe lately. In the late 60s and early 70s, a lot of people in Oakland were dying from bad heroin. And the rumor was that the CIA was deliberately poisoning heroin in order to kill black people. Claimed she'd visit my oldest brother who smoked pot, and she claimed that breathing in the air in his house uh, killed the buzz she got from drinking vodka. I don't know. I don't drink vodka and I don't smoke pot. I tried it when I was in high school because friends, were sitting around smoking a joint and passed it to me. But all that happened was I got incredibly hungry, and food that I ordinarily would not like tasted good. You know that orange juice that comes in a can and it tastes like the can? Ew, but it tasted good on pot. The statute of limitation has passed. You can't arrest me for what I did when I was 16. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, well, I can alter my mind by meditation and prayer, even if they're pure pharmaceutical. Heroin, LSD, all of them, methamphetamine, they poison you. That's how they the whole experience, almost a ritual for the cheap crap cigarettes. It tastes nasty. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to avoid processed foods, but canned food has its place. But I avoid things like Twinkies, and I can't give up potato chips. Love the salty snacks, but I often go for crackers instead. Don't know whether they're any better for me, but they 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 taste good, and they don't go stale as fast as potato chips. Yeah, zombie apocalypse. Um, the food bank keeps giving me those boxes of mac and cheese. Well, it isn't actually cheese, it's what they call cheese food. It's highly processed and mixed with other stuff, usually cornstarch, which isn't bad for you. But, oh, and a little oil. But I don't know, I like it better if I have some real cheese to add to it. Ditch says kettle cooked chips are good and better than the processed stuff. Yeah, I don't think they put enough salt on the kettle cooked chips. There's something off about them. I do like potato chips. They aren't the worst things for you, but I don't know. Can't get into Doritos because I don't like hot peppers. When I was a child, I couldn't eat barbecue food at home. I get sweet baby Ray's. It's an awesome barbecue sauce, too peppery and very sweet. And if you like it hotter, you can add a little chili powder to it. Like it the way it is. Well, it isn't just smoking, Ditch. As you grow older, your tastes change. Ditch is trying to cut down on smoking. Yeah, you're saving to escape. So, and cigarettes have gotten horribly expensive. Even I am not smoking as much during my podcast as usual, trying not to burn up money too fast. But I'm trying to think of processed foods. Oh, the stuff you put in the microwave for a couple minutes, and it's what we used to call a TV dinner. I'll never forget the time I walked into work with my microwave meal, and the microwave was dead. Someone had put in a TV dinner that was in an aluminum tray with aluminum foil, and the microwave caught fire and all the plastic walls melted. They were lucky they didn't burn down the classroom or the little closet sized area where we could put together a few snacks. Yeah, Falcon used to have a sweet tooth, and now he hardly ever craves sweet foods. Well, I've really been eating a lot less candy and cookies lately. I want to go ahead and make some cookies. My kitchen needs some major cleaning, and my kitchen sink needs the drain unclogged before I can think about that. I, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and two drains, two sides, and they go sideways and then down. So you cannot just stick a snake in it. It won't go down into the pipe that's clogged. So I have to go under the sink and take it apart. And I haven't been up to it. With my bad back, it's really hard to get down on the floor and do things, and even harder to get up again when I'm done. Yeah, Ditch, I don't think they make the foil wrapped TV dinners anymore. They're all in plastic. They came up with a plastic that will survive if you use a regular oven, as long as it isn't too hot or you don't leave it in there too long. Oh, Famous Amos. Chocolate chip cookies with pecans are good, but they are not what the original Famous Amos used to make. They've replaced the butter with margarine and made other changes to make them cheaper, but they're still good. Oh, Etsy Quintia says that happened to him with the microwave at work. Luckily, I stopped it before it caught fire, but before that, the oven made some sounds from hell and did a small light show. Well, it turns out that one of the worst things for your teeth eating sweets, peanut butter. It's full of sugar and it sticks to your teeth and stays there. Oh, I had dentures before I was 40. They were partials. How old was I when I first got dentures? I think I was 50. But I was cursed with bad teeth all my life. And when I was 4 years old, they extracted two teeth under general anesthesia. And at age 4, it wasn't my fault that my teeth were bad. It was mostly that mom didn't eat right when she was pregnant. But I like my dentures a lot more than my original teeth. I don't get toothaches. Um, my teeth were so fragile, I bit into just the bun of a hot dog bun, and one of them shattered. One of my teeth just fell apart. I'm glad I don't have to go through that anymore. Wow. It is. I'm winding down, so it's probably time to. Yeah, mom needed a lot more than. But whatever. When I was born, I was little over 5 pounds, but by the next day, I was under 5 pounds, usually 5 pounds. The doctor wanted to keep me in a couple extra without my baby. And I was breastfed. So once again, since her nutrition wasn't so great, mine wasn't so great. But by the time I was 9 months old, I was on a bottle. It's mainly the first few days when you give birth. Your milk actually has other things in it to boost the baby's immune system, just for the first 2 or 3 days. After that, uh, breastfeeding isn't a big deal. Ditch has to make lunch, and I gotta get going. Uh, okay. Well, I don't want to talk anymore about my teeth. I'm just so glad I got rid of them. Uh, okay, let's do the thank you all for listening and have a great day. And it's really awesome to have all of you here in chat. Thank you, Peanut Butter Falcon. Let's get out of here. Thank you, at Sequentia. Thanks. I don't know. It's been real.